In a time where monsters walk the earth, humanity's fight for its future sets Godzilla and Kong on a collision course that will see the two most powerful forces of nature on the planet collide in a spectacular battle for the ages. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back into another video, and today is another Fanatic film review, and yeah, I'm interested to talk about this one today. This is another one that came out on HBO Max and theaters at the same time. I actually went and saw it in a theater. I did not watch it on HBO Max. I saw it in a theater. But today, if you know what we're talking about Godzilla versus Kong. This is a very interesting one that I'm going to talk about. And I'm not just going to talk about the movie itself in this. I'm also going to talk about the marketing, and that's something that I have a few choice words about, is if the way I would put it lightly. But I think without further ado, let's just kind of hop into it. So let me put it this way. There are a lot of things I like about it, but there are a lot of things I don't like about it. So we're going to start with the things I like, and then we'll get into my real issues with the film. The first thing is the action. You come to this film to watch two titans fight. That's why you're here. You're here to watch the two biggest, most powerful forces on Earth battle it out. You're here to watch Godzilla and Kong. It's literally called Godzilla versus Kong. That is what this film is called. The action does deliver. Not gonna lie, it does. It's awesome. There's two huge action sequences. Oh, spoiler warning if you have not seen it. I'm gonna put that out there. We are talking spoilers. Spoilers will be in this video. Spoiler warning if you have not seen it. Back to what I was saying. We get two large action scenes between our two foes, and they are fantastic. I will not lie about that. I think it was the best part of the movie, but we knew that going in. That's what we were expecting. So for that to be a huge positive, it's positive enough because it did deliver, but we were already kind of expecting that. The second thing is I like some of the mythology. I have a lot of problems with the writing. I will get into that when I get into the negatives, but I do like some of the mythology involved. The Hollow Earth type stuff, I wasn't the biggest fan of. I didn't completely buy into it or believe it, but the Titan mythology, the ancient war, things like that, I liked. I liked that. I dig that. I thought that that was pretty good. And then the last major thing I gotta say that I really enjoyed, and I just have to give props to the team that did the CGI. It is flawless. It really is. Godzilla and Kong are fighting in the middle of Hong Kong and just tearing the city apart, tearing each other apart, and it looks fantastic. So I have to give credit to the entire team that did all of the visual effects. It really was good. It was really solid and absolutely fantastic. But let's get to the negative. Let's get to the negative. The writing of this film is very flawed. Something I said in my short review on Twitter was that this franchise always struggles with trying to stick us with character stories, human stories, and they constantly miss the mark. So over the last 2 days, I have watched this franchise. I watched the 3 MonsterVerse movies before this, and I watched this one. I watched them all for the first time. It was the first time I saw any of them. And in every single one of the films, and I'll get into this in my ranking that I'm going to do in a few days, every single one of these films falls for the same trick and the same trap. They try to get us in with the humans. They try to make us feel for the humans, and it doesn't work. It falls flat. The same thing happens in this film. And it's a little more convoluted this time than I think even some of the other times. In the first Godzilla that came out in, I believe, 2014, it's a relatively simple human story. That's probably the best human story of them all, honestly. I'd say Kong Skull Island maybe competes a little bit, but I think the first Godzilla actually has the best elements of character. So that's all I've got to say about that. But this film falls victim once again to human stories missing the mark. I did not care about the humans, and I am a human. I did not care about the humans. I did not care about their desires and their wants and their wishes. I didn't care. I was not invested in that. I came to this film wanting to watch two monsters fight. That's how you marketed it. That's how you showed it. That's how it is. And yes, I got those fights, but that was maybe 10% of the film. The other 90% wasn't that great. That's what I'm gonna say. The writing of this film it just lacked, and that's what I can say, because I don't think the direction is that bad. I think the direction is actually pretty good, but the film is hindered so much by the writing that it left me kind of rolling my eyes in certain points, and kind of in my head I'm like, really, this is what we're doing? Come on. It fell for a lot of standard tropes. It just did not interest me at all. I was not invested in those characters. And if you want to tell human stories, you need to get the audience invested in the characters. And it just didn't happen. Unfortunately, because I wanted to love this film. I was really looking forward to it. I would not have done the MonsterVerse binge 2 days beforehand if I was not looking forward to it. I genuinely was looking forward to this film. It just kind of fell flat for me. It's not paced well either. Like I said, 90% of this film is kind of character stuff and story stuff, and it dragged. It was not paced well. I looked at my phone a few times, which I hate to do. It's less than 2 hours, so I thought it would fly by, but I found myself kind of like looking around like, hey, what are we doing here? And you know, that part just really took me out of the film. It really did. So that's all I really have to say about the film itself. I want to talk about the marketing. I want to talk about the marketing of this film and how poor it is. I hate to say it. How poor it is. It's not poor for getting people into the theaters. And I know that is its job. I know that. That is the job of the marketing, is to get people in seats. I get it. It does a good job about that. But after you see the movie, you look back at the marketing and you're like, damn, they made a lot of mistakes. So this is heavy spoilers right now. If you've not seen the movie, click off. Thank you for watching, but I don't want to spoil it for you. We're getting into heavy spoiler territory now, okay? So the first point I want to make is you show both fights in the marketing. There are only 2 fights between Godzilla and Kong in this film, and you show both of them in the marketing. Both of them. And on top of that, you show the 2 moments, 1 moment in each fight, that are stand-up, cheer-worthy moments in theaters. You show them in the marketing. When Kong punches Godzilla on the aircraft carrier, that's the big moment in that fight. And when Kong comes down with the axe in Hong Kong, that's the big moment of that fight. You back yourself into a hole because after you leave the film, you're like, they revealed everything in the marketing. There was no surprises. There was nothing there that I hadn't already seen in the marketing. So I know what they were trying to do. I do. I understand. And it worked. It did. It worked. I will not say it did not work. It got people in seats. Every theater I've seen it on Twitter, I've seen it everywhere, was sold out. I got the last seat in my theater when I went and saw it. I got the last seat. I was very lucky. It did its job. But from the standpoint of after the fact, after you've seen the film, you gave up a lot. And I left feeling unsatisfied because I was like, I saw that all in the trailers. The beautiful thing about, and I hate to compare to Marvel because they're 2 separate entities, but the beautiful thing about Marvel and what they do is they don't show. I remember this very clearly. When the Russo brothers were doing an interview for Endgame, they said they only showed footage from the first 20 minutes of the film in their trailers. They said that was it. We weren't going to give up anything else. Now, there are some little clips and moments from later in the film in that stuff, but nothing to give anything up. That's why that film is so effective the first watch, because of the surprises. Cap-wielding Mjolnir? Heck no, that's not going to be in the trailer. But see, that's the thing in this film. the two big moments that could get people to jump out of their seats are both in the trailers. So, while it did its job, I think it hindered the film in general at the end. So, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Do you want to get butts in seats? Yes, you do. But when people walk out of the film, are you going to get the praise that you think the film deserves because you gave up some of the biggest moments in the trailers? It's to be seen. Some people may have been like, oh, it was just as awesome. And look, I'm not going to lie, it was. It was. Watching Kong take that axe and drive it down to Godzilla on a big screen in a theater was epic. But I knew it was coming. There was no surprise. There was no shock and awe. I was waiting for it. I was like, okay, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? And then he picks up, I'm like, here we go. That's the thing. There's no surprise. There was no shock factor. There was no awe. There were a few kids in there that cheered when, were excited when it happened. They probably hadn't seen the trailers. So that's kind of the big rant I wanted to make here. They did not leave a single surprise. Mechagodzilla, we knew. Because in one of the trailers, there was some spoilers. We knew that Mechagodzilla was going to be there. So they did not leave any surprises on the table. They used them all. And when people walk out of this film, I hope that does not deter them from the film. But it was something for me that really stuck out to me. It really did. I was like, wow, that was cool, but I saw it all in the trailers. So that is the risk you take when watching trailers, but Warner Brothers or whoever was in charge of that marketing, I'm sorry. I think you may have missed the boat there. Now they're going to have a payday because of that marketing, because a lot of people went to watch the movie. But in my opinion, it just missed the boat a little bit. But that's all I really got to say about it. I think now we're going to get into the point breakdown. So entertainment, 20 out of 25. The fights were entertaining. It was able to salvage that score a little bit, but those human elements were just not great. Performances, 17 out of 20. Now, while I didn't care, the performances were fine. They weren't bad. Direction, 8 out of 10. Writing, 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Not strong. Did not like it. Emotion, 8 out of 10. Cinematography, 9 out of 10. Beautifully shot film, I will say that. And that's part of the direction. Pacing, 3 out of 5. Rewatchability, 5 out of 5. What can I say? I'd give it a rewatch. And an automatic 5 out of 5 points. If you did the math, that means I gave Godzilla vs. Kong an 80 out of 100. So even with all of my gripes and critiques, I still gave it a relatively high score. Not one of the highest I've ever given a movie. It's not even the highest in the MonsterVerse. There's actually 2 films ahead of it, but you will see that ranking coming out a little bit later this week. But that's pretty much it. Let me know down below in the comments, guys, what did you think of Godzilla vs. Kong? I know most of you have already seen it. It's on HBO Max. It's in theaters. Go watch it. I mean, it's fun. It's a fun movie, but it does lag. So that's all I would say. But make sure you go check out my website, FinaticFilmReview.com. Go check out Music City Drive-In as well. I do a lot of content for them. Go over to my Twitter and my Instagram. Not my Instagram. Well, you can go over to my Instagram. Go over to my Twitter and my Letterboxd to get instant 2021 movie reactions. I had one for Godzilla vs. Kong up right after I saw it in theaters. And of course, the last thing, if you enjoyed the content, make sure you consider dropping a subscription. It really does mean the world in this journey to become a bigger and better and just better film critic. It means the absolute world. It's free. You don't have to pay anything, and I really do appreciate it. But guys, that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. And we'll see you. I botched that. I botched that. And we'll see you in the next video.